Hey, good afternoon, good people. We are live and welcome to Purpose Over Pain podcast, where we talk about a lot of stuff. Today we got a special show, live audience. So if y'all are not doing anything, come on out to Sherman Phoenix. Come talk to us. We'll be here for about what? About an hour or so. But there's going to be other things that's going on today, other podcasts. So come on out, have a good time later on tonight. Is going to be the what is it? The Fuck Them Kids kickback. Come on out, have a good time, play some games. Yeah, good shit. Good shit. But today, our topic of discussion is parenting 101, new age versus traditional parenting, and what takes we have with that. I guess that's up to like your preference and what you're used to, or whatever. But we'll get into that. And then also we have a special guest today, author Wendell White, um, who is the author of the book Devil Thought He Had Me. One and two, right?
One and two, yep.
One and two, period.
3 and 4 is on the way.
Period. So we're gonna talk about that. Of course, we got Miss Mish,
Hey,
Big
y'all.
Moose in the
Hey,
house.
Y'all. Hey, y'all.
So yeah, we're gonna have a lively discussion. I like this. We're upstairs in Sherman Phoenix. So if y'all want to come on out again, come on out. So let's get into this book. Author Wendell Wright. I met you. He is a author. He is a husband, a father. Introduce yourself.
I was gonna say, let him tell us about him.
Yeah. So good afternoon. I appreciate y'all having me. That's first of all. Thank God for the opportunity, the time. Yeah, like you said, I'm an author, motivational speaker. I'm a father of 11, husband. It's so much that's wrapped up into me. I don't like to just put no one thing on it, but one thing that I do, what I believe in is that I love the youth. I love helping the youth. So I know that's my purpose. God put me on earth for is to help the youth. And we gonna, as we talking and dissect the things that I done been through in life, we gonna see how all the things that I done been through in life, it adds up with my purpose and why I can reach the youth the way that I can reach the youth.
And that's powerful, because I think that today we have a struggle of, do you want to parent the traditional way? Because we have, some of us old heads that, we have the traditional ways, children, you don't do this and you do, kind of like the whole don't do what I say, or don't question what I say, just do it type of thing. And then you have other people who feel like no, that doesn't work, these days. Misha, what do you feel about that?
I think I'm more of a new age parent. I think if you would say I think I kind of teeter-totter between the two, though. Maybe sometimes with some stuff, because I think some stuff from like the traditional, when my mom was raised, I think that can be valid in today's parenting. But I do think that some of those traditions do need to be broken. So I feel like you can have a healthy balance between the two.
Absolutely. I do too. And
then I also think how I was raised play a part as well. And then how my mom was raised plays a part as well. So all that play a part into how a person parents or what style parenting they choose.
Right. So, Mr. Wendell, so you grew up in Chicago, right?
Yep.
And I can hear it. I can still hear it. You still got that Chicago twang, Chicago twang a little bit. I lived in Chicago for a bit, so I recognize it. So, give us a little bit of insight about your book, and what it's about.
So my book, The Devil Thought He Had Me, Volume 1 and 2, is based on my life. Growing up in Chicago, on the south side of Chicago, and just making at the age of 12, excuse me, joining the gang and just making a whole lot of not so good decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And it all really adds up to like what we're talking about today with the parenting, with the new age parenting and the old school parenting. But what happens when there's no parenting? Do we think about that?
No.
When it's absolutely no parenting, when it ain't, when there's no old school parenting, there's no new school parenting, it's just kids raising kids.
Right.
Then what do we do about that?
Mm-hmm.
So in my book, I make a whole lot of not so good decisions. And I don't want to tell the whole book, but it led me down a road where, man, I almost lost my life. Some guys end up kidnapping me, put me in the trunk, beat me with bats, left me for dead for drugs and money. Just all off the not so good decisions that I was making. But a lot of the things that I ain't gonna say a lot of it, everything that I had learned, I learned from an adult.
That's deep.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's scary.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, like as a parent, you got to understand, like when you first have a child, just look at it like this. When you first have a child, it's like going to Walmart buying you a Dell computer. There's nothing on this computer.
Right.
This kid don't know nothing. Everything you download into this kid, everything this kid learn is learning from somebody. So what are you teaching the child?
Right.
What are you downloading into your child?
Right.
You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? So even with the old school parenting way, I hear a lot of people say, I never raised my kids like my mama did me or my daddy did me, and they was too much this, they was too much that. But look at you better.
Right.
You better because of it.
Right.
And then you look at the child all over the place.
Yeah.
Listen, it's okay to be lenient on the child, but it's not okay to be a child's friend. Mm-hmm. I don't believe in that. You know what I'm saying? We could be friends. I can be friendly with you, but I'm not your friend. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
Like it's a difference. People think being friends is I can be friendly with you because I'm your dad. We supposed to laugh. It don't just supposed to be
right.
Like when we was growing up, it wasn't no laughs. It wasn't no hugs and I love you. And it was like you said earlier, you do what I tell you to do because I'm your mama.
Right.
I'm your daddy.
Right. Right.
And it was just like, man, y'all so mean.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't never no fun side. Like where the fun side at? I didn't have fun, so I go over auntie house or go over my cousin's house.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, you still got to show your human side and wrap your arms around me and tell y'all love you. I'm proud of you. When the kid coming home with straight A's and doing what they supposed to do, you shouldn't tell them, well, you supposed to be doing that. Even though, yeah, they do supposed to be doing that, but congratulate them.
Right.
Let them know that you appreciate them going to do the right thing. You know what I mean?
So what was your upbringing? Like what do you think led you to make those not so good decisions?
I mean, when you watching, my mama sold drugs. My uncle, who I looked up to, sold drugs. My dad wasn't never around. So everybody that I was around, they sold drugs. So it was like a family business.
Right. You became product of your environment.
Exactly. So how do you tell me go to school, get an education, when this is what I'm watching? This is what I'm seeing every day. You know what I mean? So it's like you telling me to go to school and go get an education, but you ain't going to school.
Right.
Do it make sense? So when I knew I was going to be a drug dealer, we had just came back from California one night. My uncle, who I looked up to, one of his drug houses just got robbed earlier that day. We get back from California, me, him, and my brother, we went to California to go see his two kids. He dropped me off at my auntie house. He gave me a bag of money, like $250,000 in it. I knew right then and there I'm selling drugs. I knew right then and there I'm selling drugs.
Mhm.
So he impacted me in a way that, and by he never set me down and said, don't do it.
Mhm.
You trusted me. He put $50,000 in one pocket, gave me a bag of money. He told me it's $250,000 in it. Don't go to sleep till my auntie get there. So with that being said, when you showing me stuff like this, you exposing me
Right.
to stuff like this.
Right.
What am I supposed to do?
And that's the norm.
And that's the norm.
Mhm.
When I know,
Mhm.
man, this how my mama take care of us.
Right.
This how you take care of us, and all my cousins and everything. They all selling drugs. On my daddy's side, my uncles and stuff that I hang with on the man, everybody selling drugs. Everybody gang banging selling drugs. So what you expect me to do?
Mhm.
And that's just and you just watch our children right now. Look, I hate when
Yeah.
people say like, it's the kids. No, it's the way the kids are being raised.
Yeah. And I had a conversation. I was having a conversation with my cousin recently, and she was, just discussing some things with her kid, and I had to tell her, or I mentioned the fact that you have to understand that, and have that understanding that your child is looking at what you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So if your child is doing something that, and I'm not gonna say what it is, but like, if your child is drinking and they see you drinking on a continuous, constant basis, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's gonna pique their curiosity a little bit more than the kid who doesn't grow up with that,
Mhm.
And so it's like, we want our children to be one way, but we exhibit something else. And that's, not just saying everybody else, but I'm talking about myself too.
Right.
Like, no, you got to be real with what's going on and what's in your household.
Yeah.
Yes, you can say, I don't want you to do that. But I learned that in me saying I don't want you to do that, I also have to explain why.
And I was just about to say that.
Mhm.
And I was just about to say that a lot of the times we'll tell a child, don't do this.
Mhm.
But we never tell them why.
Mhm.
Why not to do it.
Right.
So when you say don't do it,
Mhm.
excuse me, that only piques their horizon a little bit more, saying, okay, she told me not to do it, but she didn't tell me why not to do it.
Right.
He didn't tell me why not to do it.
Mhm.
So like, you know what? I'm gonna go a little bit further to this edge. I'm gonna go a
Mhm.
little bit further to the edge just to
Mhm.
see, like, man, she trying to keep me from something,
Mhm.
but she ain't never told me that it's harmful, it can hurt me, it can kill me.
Right.
It could do all the above.
She could be just a hater.
On the real, but that's real though.
Hopefully,
No.
mama not.
That,
No, I'm saying, that's what kids be
but no,
thinking.
that's
Like,
the real though.
feel
you know,
That's the real.
she hating.
Yeah.
Not hating on you.
But that's so true.
Mhm.
And the reason why a lot of our kids, they have that type of attitude, like I've been working in the school system for 10 years now. So
Mhm.
all the stuff that I see with like children and the relationship that they have with their mom and they,
Mhm.
girl and like that, all that type of stuff, like that's
Mhm.
weird to me.
Mhm.
That, you know what I'm saying? Like I got 7 boys, 4 girls. Like that's weird to me. Like
Mhm.
I have to respect myself enough to
Mhm.
make my kids respect me.
Mhm.
I'm not your girl. I'm not your boy. I'm not your
Mhm.
bro.
Bro.
I'm not none of that.
Yeah, and that, and that kind of, I'm on the fence with that.
Mhm.
I'm on the fence with that. Now, what I don't allow is, don't call me bro. Like that. Like, don't call me bro. I'm not your bro. But do I talk to my kids sometimes, and like me and my daughter, she'll say, I'll say, hey girlfriend, or you know what I'm saying, hey girl. She's 16. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like at a certain age, I think that we should move to, yes, I'm strict, I'm your parent. But I think at a certain age, when they get, certain things are exposed to them. And so I think that to show that commonality, like some kids, you have to get with like that for them to understand, or even hear what you're saying.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. But still, I think that it's a very thin line, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Very
so,
thin.
so the thing is, like like I get what you're saying. Like the thing about it is like we draw this boundary from the door. We draw boundaries from the time that you're born. We're gonna draw these boundaries. When you begin to and understand and comprehend and things like that, this boundary is drawn. Now, as you grow into yourself, as you grow into your being a young woman and a young man and things like that, don't get me wrong. I never stop being your parent.
Right.
We are going. I'm gonna get off you as much, but we had never crossed this line.
Yeah.
We had never crossed this line.
Cross that line.
So guess what? We can.
Look, if you buck.
So it is gonna be times when you're gonna be, what's up, little bro, and you know, because you still want to be relatable to them.
Yeah.
You always want to be relatable to them, you know.
Mhm.
And when they terminologies and things like that, and you hear them say stuff, you know, you laugh about it, and then you hit them with it one day. What up, little bro? And they looking at you like
what?
Man, Pop's crazy.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
Because I'm just letting you know that, man. I'm your dad, but I'm still we cool. But we had never crossed this boundary. Don't never cross this boundary when I'm being serious with you,
right?
Or we are in a real intimate conversation, and now you broing me and you doing all this because now you
where's
being
the respect, right?
Now you being disrespectful. When I'm trying to chastise you and you, oh bro, now hold on, fam.
Yeah.
Now you done lost your mind. Now you got a couple meatballs missing out your spaghetti because you tripping. You feel what I'm saying? Because now you done went crazy. Now you feel what I'm saying? Like no, like for real. And see, that's what with them boundaries. There's no boundaries today.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Children just go to they either dead or in jail.
But I think too, like we've put that on them. You see what I'm saying? Like we have allowed, and some of us, we have allowed our children to become entitled. And then once they get to a certain age, or once it gets to where it's too much for us, then we roar. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's like, no, like you did that. Yeah. You spoiled that child.
You
created the monster.
Yeah. Yep. And I remember one day I had to sit back and like with my youngest, and he was doing something, and I was just like, damn, girl, you did it with this one. You did that with that one. You did that. The other one, you know, I ain't never had, but that youngest one, you did that, and you can't get mad. You just have to deal with it, and you gotta learn how to move that shit. You know what I'm saying? Shake them. You know.
And the thing, like I read a lot of books. Like I'm reading this book right now called The Love, Death for Parents. I meant to bring the book. It's it's an amazing book. And at every chapter of the book, it have you do like an assignment with your children, but your children don't know. Oh, you can't tell them.
Oh, that's dope.
You know what I'm saying?
I was just gonna say we should look into that. What's it called again?
The Love, Death for Parents.
The Love, Death for Parents.
The Love, Dare for
parents.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And that'll be good. Like, you know,
maybe especially for teenagers.
Exactly. I mean, it's an amazing book, man. Like this is my third time reading the book. Like that's how good the book is. But I like at the end of each chapter how I give you, like I thought I was the best dad in the world. That's how I've read this book the first time. I'm terrible.
Oh, that shit.
I was
just gonna say, but it's good to be self-aware and self-accountable.
Absolutely, and that's the word I was.
And if you're gonna be self-aware and accountable, I think the in any aspect of your life, it should be with your children.
Yes,
absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yep. So man, it just break down so much from I just think about like back in the days when we were told like you speak when a child is spoken to, you don't say this when the that. I'm not saying my grandmother and them that they were wrong for that. But what I am gonna say is they stripped us from our voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
We never had a voice. Yeah. See, if you look at Caucasian people, they let their kids express themselves. They might not. It may be in a way that be a little bit disrespectful with all the I hate you and I wish you was dead. I'm not saying that, but they get their children.
I wish you did.
You know what I'm saying? But they get their children a voice. Though.
Right.
They allow their children to vent. And open up and tell them what's wrong, and not looking at them like shut up and why you dealing with that, you don't pay no bills and yada 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 yada. Right. we were taught, especially the way that I was brought up, we shouldn't have issues.
Right.
How you got issues and you don't pay no bill? That's the first thing an adult tell you. How you got problems and you don't pay no bills?
I probably said that. I've said that this week.
See, and I feel bad now because I can't relate. I did not grow up like that.
But you know what though, sis? But you know what though? That's good.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
I mean, I know it's a good thing. I'm just saying, like in hindsight. But yeah, no, my mom, she was raised like that, so she made my mom, so she made a conscious decision like to raise us differently. She always had like open, honest conversations with us. We was always allowed to like vent to her and have conversations that you wouldn't think you would have with your mom, and even still to this day, like
shout out to Mama B. Happy birthday, girl.
Happy birthday, mama. But yeah, so I think, and that plays a big role in how I parent my kid as well, like the way that I was raised, because my mom made it a big thing, like not to raise us like that and make sure we had a voice and could express ourselves.
And you can really, honestly, you can see it in the relationship that y'all have. Hell, even when I come over there, shit, but you can see it in that relationship now that everybody is grown. And we can really talk, we can really have conversations, and I trust you.
Yeah.
I see that when you talk to your mom, or when you even tell me about some of them conversations, she don't be telling me everything, but because we be on point, you know what I'm saying? But y'all conversations that you actually trust her in a way that it's not, that you're not going to be judged, so I think that that's very valuable. Very valuable.
Yes. And one thing about like today's society, that's how a lot of parents want it to be. They want it to be like that. Like they want it to be, I'm gonna be this with my child, I'm gonna be that, and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. But somewhere down the line, your mother was taught how to do that with her children. A lot of these parents not being taught how to do that. So now is I'm not gonna be this to my son or my daughter. But what am I gonna be to them?
Yeah, I have no clue.
I don't have a clue on what I'm gonna be to them. So now they basically children being raised up, and you like the big sister. We friends. We kicking it.
Yeah,
it ain't no respect.
Yeah,
I don't have no respect for you. I don't have no respect for my teachers. I don't have no respect for grandma. I don't have no respect for nobody. So now the kids is just running wild. They doing what they want to do, and then like you said earlier, now they get to a point when you just want to rah at them. No, you can't rah at them, because at the end of the day, you created this.
Right.
So now
tame your monster,
especially young men.
Yeah,
keep them at home.
Yeah, but see, especially our young men, right? Because society has tricked us to believe that we don't supposed to have feelings. We shouldn't cry. And we shouldn't do this and we shouldn't do that. So now, as our young men, they're growing, and there is no dads around really, to teach them how to be a man. So these are the most emotional young boys that I've seen ever in my life.
I was just gonna say that's really they be so emotional and
sensitive.
Up and
they goddamn listening to
screaming
Rod
on the
Wave.
inside.
Well, he coming soon.
They
all gonna be in the goddamn Marcus Amphitheater crying.
But the thing about it is that but the whole thing about it is, what's the crazy thing about it is, nobody is teaching them how to be men.
Yeah.
And that's the sad part.
It's really sad. And as somebody who, I have 3 sons, and I try to talk to my sons. I told one of my, I'm always asking them, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? My youngest son, I mean, not my youngest, but the middle, he might be like, God damn, yes, I'm okay. But when you down, you want to stay in your room, with the door closed. I go in the room, the lights are off, like, fam, turn the lights, so
no, I was that kid.
Really?
It
gives depression to me. And then I'll be like,
it gave depression to my mom too, because she was that mom, like, are you good? Are you good?
Yeah.
That is like one of my core memories of my mom just always like, are you okay? Are you okay? If there's anything wrong, you can talk to me, right?
That's definitely how I be. Like,
I don't think it's nothing wrong with that though. I don't necessarily. I mean, he could be depressed, but he could not be. He could just be chilling. But it's either way, it's still good that you stay like tapped in and You know, you stay present.
I be trying, be going in a little funky
so that he
rooms.
know that at least if he's ever not okay, that you've extended the invitation so much that he feels comfortable. Like, okay, coming to you. Like, I'm not okay now.
And in that situation, because I just dealt with some stuff like that with my daughter like 2 days ago, my youngest daughter. And
I know she getting big. How big is she?
Yeah, she's 12 now.
I was just gonna say, how old is she?
Yeah, and she just lost her brother on her mom's side like 2 months ago. So I could see the change in her. You know what I'm saying? Me and my wife, we was just, we could see that she's changing now. She's doing that, going in the room. She just in the dark and all this. So the day I get home, I bring her in the room, I bring her to my room, and we begin to talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the problem? You know, what's good? I know you hurting. I know you're going through this. I know you're going through that. She just broke down crying. Like, I don't want to be here no more. And she began to tell me a lot of things that, her mom was going through when she was staying with her mom and things like that. But I remember as growing up as a kid, I wouldn't have got that support.
Right.
Because I was raised in a household where what are you depressed about?
Right.
All you got to do is go to school. What you depressed about? You don't have to do nothing else, and it as you grow older and you are trying to hide all this trauma that you done been through. And when you look at society right now, all these kids deal with so much trauma.
Oh my god, it's so much. Like, I remember one year, my oldest, he within maybe a 3-month span, 2 or 3 kids that he knew got killed.
Yeah, no,
and I'm just like, like, it's just so much. And then to, you know how you feel when you experience death. Even when Glenn passed away, I noticed the shift in the change in my kids, and even though that wasn't their dad, I still noticed that change, and the change, especially with my oldest, with him going into his room and shutting his door. And it took until Glenn had purchased him a TV, and this TV, I did not know, but that was his keepsake. And my youngest broke the TV. And he was out of town. When he came back in, he realized the TV was broke. I didn't know it was broke. And he just sat on his bed and he cried. And I'm like, and I come in the room and I'm like, why is you crying? Why is you crying? And he's like, and then I had to stop. And I'm like, wait a minute, fam, he's crying. And this is a kid that doesn't really say too much. When he does say something, when he does have an emotion, it really, it means something. And so I know that I have to stop in that moment. And he started to tell me, well, this is why I'm crying. And all he said was, Glenn bought me that TV.
And sentimental.
Yeah, and it was sentimental value. And I was just like, I just sat on this bed and I just cried with him, like, God damn, I'm sorry, because I immediately went to, toughen up, and, and it was a situation where it was an emotional, bond or that was broken, and so that enlightened my eyes, and I said, let me try to figure out what's going on with this kid.
Now, just think about the millions of kids that don't have a parent that's gonna sit back and do that, and now they just dealing with it. And then you wake up the next morning, they're in the closet hanging by a cord or something. You know what I mean? So it's like with our children, man, they in such of a bad place, and a lot of it, 99% of it is the parenting. Is the way that we are going after parenting in these children. And we are losing them daily. We losing them, and they don't know how to articulate themselves. They don't know how to talk. Every time they run from love because they don't know what love is. Love is weird to them.
Or even showing any kind of.
Yes.
Oh my God. Yes.
Weird to them.
Yes.
Listen, man, I'm gonna tell you like this. When I started my transition to, getting myself together and getting on the right track, I was 32 years old, right? So as a 32-year-old man, I've never been around nobody that told me they loved me, especially a man. So when my mentor used to tell me that all the day, I used to think he was gay. Like, man, this nigga gay. Like, what's wrong with him? Like, he always telling me he love me, want to give me a hug. But no, it was weird to me because he was showing me something that I've never had before. You know what I mean? So
not knowing it, that's healthy.
That's healthy. Right. So now imagine, I had my first son when I was 16. Now I'm 32 years old. At the time, I never used to tell my kids I love them and things like that. You know what I'm saying? So now it's this generational curse of going on and on and on, what they dealing with. So when I began to tell my boys and my daughters, when I dropped them off at school in the morning, man, I love y'all, be great. At first, they used to laugh. Because it was weird to them, just like it was weird to me. Right. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying.
No, that's deep though.
You know, they used to laugh and giggle and I never used to ask them like, what y'all laughing for? Because I knew what it was. Right. It's weird for them because it was weird for me when my mentor started doing it to me.
Right.
But over the years, they began to understand. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm set expectations for them. Be great. You walking with our last name today. You know what I'm saying? Don't disappoint our last name. So now they understanding these speeches and these talks I'm giving them before we go to school every morning. And what I had no expectations for my kids at first. Only thing I thought, y'all go to school, do what the teacher say. My kids was never bad. They always got good grades and things like that. Like they were never, bad. They, they kid stuff. Shit. You know what I'm saying? But they were never like the type to curse teachers out because I never was that type of dad that made them believe that it's okay. You be disrespectful. That's the only time I ever whooped my kid. Is when they disrespecting an adult or they did something disrespectful in school. I didn't whoop them for, y'all told them broke the remote to the PlayStation 3 and all that. That's kid stuff. Y'all got to deal with it. You know what I mean?
You just won't play the game.
You just ain't gonna play the game. Y'all got to figure it out. Right. You know what I'm saying? But I always was that type of dad that if you around Bianca, you around sis, these your mamas now. If I'm not there, I was all because that's how I was raised. You know what I'm saying? So you walking with them, you over their house spending the night. If they kids get in trouble, I expect you to get in trouble. Not calling you saying, Bianca, my son said you did woo woo woo. You said woo woo. You whooped him with your kid. No, she's supposed to whoop y'all. If her kids got a whooping and you was in
why
there,
you looking at me? Because how you feel about that big Meech?
So I did not grow up getting physically disciplined. I did not grow up getting physically disciplined. I did grow up getting disciplined. Like my dad was like a fucking drill sergeant because his dad was in the military, so he was like a drill sergeant. So we stood in corners, like hands up with the books on your tippy toes for an hour. Like that was my punishment.
That was enough. That was physical.
I didn't need a whooping. Okay, I did not need a whooping.
Right.
So as far as my daughter is 10 and she has never gotten a whooping. But I don't feel like she's ever done anything that warranted. Like she is very childlike, I would say, for her age. She have her moments like all little girls do, but I don't feel like it's been nothing extreme. Now, in the event, like I feel like I don't send my kid with nobody that I don't feel they don't have the same parenting style as me, for one. Because I feel like that's where a lot of people get in those situations where it's like you sent your kid to somebody and now the kid's dead. I really ain't Jayla not going with nobody who don't align with my parenting styles. Right. So if I send her with Bianca and Bianca call me, or even Jayla call me, like Bianca just whooped me and Zion, I'm gonna be like, girl, get off the phone because I know her and Zion be cutting up.
Absolutely.
They cut up when me and Bianca together over there. So I feel like if I'm sending my kids with somebody and you would, like you said, you whooping your kid, I expect Jayla to get in trouble because she probably was doing the same shit.
And that's so key, right? What you just saying, that what's powerful about that is you trust Bianca enough to know that she's not about to do nothing to your child that she wouldn't do to her own kid.
Right.
A lot of these parents out here, they don't even know who their kids being around.
I was just gonna say it'd be the leaving with the step parents for me that you've been with for 3 days or 3 months.
Exactly.
And now you on the news crying because your baby is missing and she was last with him. Like it's bananas. The amount of like this never happened when I was growing up. I never remember like none of my childhood friends being like, girl, my stepdad killed my little sister.
Girl, I mean, it happens. It's been happening. It's very common, and I think that a lot of, like you said, like when you incorporate, and we were talking about that the other day. and you with the 11.
Mhm.
And I know that, you know, with your wife now, like when you incorporate, hey Renisha boo, when you incorporate your dating and your children,
It's hard.
what is that, what did that look like for you?
And you know what? That's a great question, because when I moved to Milwaukee in 2011, 2010 or 2011, and I met Renisha. Like, I had custody of 6 of my kids. They mama stayed in Chicago.
Let me tell y'all something. This how bomb my friend is. Go ahead.
So
how many kids were you married?
I had 6. I had
Yeah.
6 of my own. Like, Renisha only got 1. I have 10. So I had 6 of them in my custody. You know what I mean? So when I moved from Chicago, I was like, you know, I'm just gonna take my kids with me. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want them Chicago wild. Like, I don't want them up there without
Right,
me, and I
right,
can't run
right.
back and forth,
You
back
ain't
and forth. So
wrong.
I'm like, man, I'm gonna just bring them with me. So where my mistake was at, this is where I made the biggest mistake, I believe, of our relationship and of our marriage. My baby mamas, I allow my baby mamas to have too much control. I allowed them to have too much control, because they were telling me, like, you know, they don't want their children around another woman. And I respected that. I respected that. Like, Renisha never met my kids until we got married. But that was a big mistake, because if I'm saying I want to spend the rest of my life with you and you got 10 children now, I don't now you talking about 13 different personalities
Yeah.
that we got to deal with. Now
Yeah.
you telling me to come in
And
on
I don't even know
something,
these kids.
and I don't even know these kids. They don't know nobody but you. They don't know nobody but their mom. And now you just put me in the middle.
Right.
So it was a struggle on our marriage for a lot of years, because she first of all, she was raised a total different way than I was raised. You know what I'm saying? Her dad raised her. So Renisha she has a lot of like men mentality. She got that fuck you, see you later. You know what I'm saying? Out of sight, out of mind. Like,
my friends got that.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Except for Honey Barbecue.
Right.
like, for real. So I mean, Bianca, you know it. You worked with her the
Right,
whole 9
right,
yards. Like,
right.
she could be a sweetheart, but she could be like, something wrong with this girl. Like, something is really wrong with her. Like, for real. But I get, like,
Not too much on my friend. Right.
but the thing about it is, like, by being around her, being around her dad, and understanding.
Yeah.
So what it was my job was to do was bring her to my world. You know, teach her how to love unconditionally. And love don't, when you say you can't say you love me, but you treat my children like this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, but that's where a lot of women don't understand. You can't have a man in the house that don't want to be the man of the house.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, that's
right.
like, you got a man in the house that's saying, well, I ain't gonna help you with little mama. That's on you. I'm gonna let you do that. Why are you wasting your time?
That's a trigger like a motherfucker. Damn.
But I'm just saying like
Tone looked up like
but you know what though, like, it's so many households are like that right now.
Yeah.
Like, and like with my profession, what I do, and I hear men say this all the time. They'll come pick a child up like, nah, this ain't my son, but I'll tell his mama, because I don't really say nothing to him.
What the fuck?
So you the man in the house, but you ain't the man of the house.
That's weird.
So that's you
like
tripping when you say that.
Right.
So how do you walk around a woman's house? Because 9 times out of 10, it ain't your house, it's her house. How do you walk around this house watching this woman struggle with these kids? And I'm not talking about financially.
Yeah.
I'm talking about with their behavior and this, that, and that. And you don't say nothing.
As the woman that, you know, that you claim that you love, and you know, and you see her being her, and we were talking about that, you know, relationships and and children, and I said something, and I think it was pretty profound, and I'll say it again. God damn it.
Go ahead. Then.
Period. That I like when I get into a relationship, and my next relationship, and involving my children, I'll definitely I'm taking my time with introducing my children to, that man. But then also, when it comes down to that man loving me, like I don't, and my kids, I don't want him to, how did I put that?
She says she don't want him to love her kids like they are his
Yes.
own. She
Like, I
want her
hate
to
when
love
people
his
say that.
kids because he loved her.
Right.
Right.
And I hate when, I want, he gotta love my kids like they his
his,
own.
yeah.
Like, no, he does not, because they are not his,
Right.
But I want you to love my kids
Right.
because you love
Right.
me.
Or the simple fact of I'm just gonna love children because he's a child.
Right.
Yeah.
Or what
Well,
I'm saying?
period.
Because
No, see, because my thing is, I'm the type of person where it's like, it really doesn't matter who the parent is. Any child is safe in my presence.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
Right.
I don't give
right.
I really don't
Right.
give a rat's ass about your mama. Even if I hate her,
exactly.
I'm not gonna do anything to
Period.
you. You know what I'm
and you
saying?
bitches that feel that way, that
Weird.
will do something, is
But
weird.
guess what though?
It is people,
You
yeah.
have so many people out here that will not care for a child because they don't like the mama or they don't like the daddy.
Mhm.
How about you just loving this child because it's a child,
Right.
and it's a
It's
child that needs to be
innocent.
loved?
Innocent,
yeah.
Because if it done been times me and Renisha done broke up before we got married, I still took care of her son.
Mhm.
Christmases, I still went because he was a part of me.
Right.
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
Right.
And I don't never want you to believe that
Right.
because me and your mama not together anymore, that I just forgot about you. It's just
Right.
no, you're a part of me.
Right.
One of my daughters,
Mhm.
her sister, she didn't know I wasn't her daddy. And right now to this day, I hate that her mama told her that I wasn't her father.
Mhm.
But she didn't find out that I wasn't her biological father till she was like 13, 14 years old.
Oh,
She had been in my life since she was like 2.
Mhm.
And when her mama told her, I got mad about that. Like,
Mhm.
why would you tell her something like that?
Right.
And it distances our relationship.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I don't love the kid because I'm with your mama, because I know at the life that I was living at the time,
Mhm.
I'm not guaranteed to be with your mama.
Right. Right.
I love you because you're a child. You're a
Mhm.
part of me.
Yeah.
I have been around you.
Yeah.
You with me every single day. I'm changing
Mhm.
your pampers. I'm feeding you. I'm doing
Yeah.
this and I'm doing that. We're building
And I'm
a
looking
bond.
after
You feel what I'm saying? I'm
Uh-huh.
singing the ABCs
Mhm.
with you. When I'm doing this, I'm taking you to doctor's appointments and
Mhm.
all that. If you could do all this with a child and you don't have no type of connection, something wrong with you.
Yeah, yeah, and that's just like with Glenn's daughters. Those are still my daughters. When they come over, and if there's problems, they call me. And we talk, and that baby, that's my grandbaby, like all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And it's like, but I think too that you also have to be careful with getting into a situation with somebody that does have children.
Mhm.
Because you have to make sure that you're able to prepare yourself for that. You know what I'm saying? Because at any point in time, you can get up and be like, you know what, these ain't my fucking kids.
And that's true, but
Mhm.
the one thing with that is like, you know what you were signing up for, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
if we just laying down with each other and all this and all that, and we
Mhm.
not trying to take this nowhere,
Mhm.
we get a room and do that.
Right.
We don't have to.
Right.
You don't have to tell me nothing about your kids. I don't got to tell you nothing
No,
about
for
my
real.
kids.
For
You know what I'm
real.
saying?
Uh-huh.
We don't got to do none of that. Like,
Yeah.
man, you would never come to my house.
Mhm.
Why I can't come to your house? My children are here. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And
Mhm.
I don't never want to come to your house if your children are there. And these are the things that I'm saying where we, knowing this ain't gonna be your man,
Yeah.
but he can still come to your house.
Yeah,
though.
and
That makes
we've
no
messed up.
sense.
Yeah, no.
That don't make no sense. Now
Mhm.
you're treating him like the man, but
Mhm.
he's not the man.
And
Right.
then
So
they see, and then your kids see that.
exactly.
And then your kids see that, and they, it's lessons in this.
It's
lessons.
man. It's so many.
Teach me.
So what do you expect?
You taking those, boo?
What do you expecting the child to do
Mm-hmm.
when they watching you got a revolving door, and every time this door come around, it's a different man. It's a different man. But you saying this
Mhm.
not your man.
Right.
You saying this not, man. This ain't my man. This ain't my man. But he in your bed.
Mhm.
You feel what I'm saying? Like he,
Right.
like when you doing stuff like that. Like I always say, man, when I had my 6 kids, I was a weekend warrior. I'm not gonna lie, because I dropped them off on Fridays when I
It
dropped
is
them.
up.
I dropped them off on Fridays in Chicago when they got man.
I got 2.5.
I dropped them off on Fridays when they got out of school, take them to Chicago with their mama.
Mhm.
I already have my bottle in the car. My little brother be with me. You know what I'm saying? It's turn up time. You know what I'm saying? So man, on the way back, but about time they mamas dropped them off on Sundays, I was in the crib. The house was clean. Their clothes was washed. Food was ready. They would never knew, man. Pops just had a ball while y'all was gone, and I wish y'all could have stayed a little longer. You feel what I'm saying? Because so I'm being honest with you. It's so much stuff that in my life that I never exposed my children to because I knew it is not gonna do nothing but damage.
Right.
Like
That's
even
how it's supposed to be, though.
but like even in my book, when people read my book, like man, we had hundreds of thousands of dollars selling drugs.
Right.
My kids could never tell you that they ever seen me sell drugs.
Right.
They could never say that they ever seen me smoke a blunt in front of them or drink alcohol in front of them. You know what I'm saying? As babies. You know what I mean? They could never say, man, my dad used to come in and he was on BD this and I never talked like that around them. I never did nothing. I used to pay our barber in Chicago because he used to cut the GD's hair and the BD's hair and we was always into it. I used to pay him to come in on Sunday so my kids wouldn't have to be around it.
Right.
So I always separated them from that because I felt like I knew what contaminated me and made me toxic.
Exactly.
By being around by nobody, not the adults around me loving me enough to say, I'm not going to expose my son to that. I'm not going to expose my nephew to that. But at the end of the day, you really can't get mad at them because nobody never taught them.
Right.
So they only teaching me what they was already taught.
Right.
And that's what a lot of us as parents do. We just go and teach our children
and reteach that cycle
because we never want to learn different.
Yeah.
We don't want to learn different
Or
because
be self-aware.
Yep.
Because a lot of people
think we right.
A lot of people is comfortable.
Let's keep naming them.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
Right.
Chaos is normal to certain people.
That's
To
true.
a lot of people.
To a lot of people.
Yes.
It's normal.
Mhm.
And for me to change that means I have to put some type of work in that I don't want to do.
And you have to get uncomfortable.
Yes.
It's going to make you uncomfortable. It's going to make you self-aware.
Mhm.
I remember sitting and thinking where I was having some issues with my oldest son. And we talked about this and I'm literally questioning, like, am I a good parent? Like, am I being a good mom? Like, because what the fuck? Freak. But like, and I think that, that's part of the issue is that we do a lot of questioning ourselves as parents. But I think that, it's a job that we never should take lightly. Because I think that, it's a charge, it's a job that we're given, from God. And so we are responsible for these people and they're people, yes, they're children, but we are responsible for these people. And one day they will grow up to be adults. And I think that one of the big things is that we don't respect our children.
Yeah, that's true.
And our children know that.
That's true.
And they feel that. And I think that's really, because like I said, they're people, they're humans.
Yes.
They're tiny humans, and then they're, medium, and then they grow, and then they be some teenagers, and but they're still human beings and they have feelings.
Right.
You know what you just said, and I'm happy that you brought this up. You said God has made us overseers over them, right? So that's really where a lot of this is going wrong at, because there's no more God in nothing that we do. No more. It's nothing. It's no more nothing. So first of all, as a parent, since parenting don't come with instructions and there's no blueprint on parenting, so you need that village to help you raise this child, right? So with that village, y'all can't be a part of my village and then I tell y'all what y'all can and can't do to my child.
Right.
How do you be a part of, how do I make you part of my village? You in my circle every day, you in my corner every day. But when it come down, we could do everything together.
Yep.
We can go curse, drink, we can go do whatever we want to do together. But when it come down to my child, you can't say nothing to my child.
Yeah.
Now this is where you giving the child the false pretenses of I'm on an adult level.
I got the upper hand.
I'm on an adult level because now I can do whatever I want to do to her, and she can't say nothing.
Right,
Yep.
right.
And that's why a lot of these teachers have it the way that they have it.
Yeah.
Teachers got it
Because
rough.
they got it rough.
You see the girl with the phone?
They got it so rough.
The one who snatched the phone and her and the teacher fall.
Oh yeah. And you know, my mom was a teacher, so
Yeah.
it was a couple times I had to say, "You good up there?"
And I mean, like I said, I've been in the schools for 10 years, and it's terrible. You know, and then that you will have an adult tell a kid you don't have to listen to her, but she teaching them, or you don't have to listen to him and he the teacher. So how make this make sense to me?
Yeah.
This-
Because
you
now you
telling a
undermining
kid
me.
That they don't have to listen. Well, you need to take them home.
Right.
You need to go
Facts.
homeschool them or something.
For real.
So now what we are doing now, we are creating that disrespect, right? And like I said, I'm happy that you brought God up, because I'm going to show you how all this intertwined while all of our children are dying, right? So now you got this village that you don't use, that you don't properly use, I'm gonna say, you know. Now in the Bible it tells us a disrespectful child days are numbered on this earth, right? Look, they died at 12, 13, 14, 15. They used to tell us when we was growing up, you ain't gonna see 21. Now they ain't even seeing 14, 15.
They ain't making it to 19, 18.
So but you just think like this. Look at the disrespect level that's going on right now. These kids have no respect for nobody because the mamas and the daddies are teaching them. They're breeding disrespect. They're telling you, you don't have to listen to nobody but me. I'm your mama. You could be the auntie, and they'll say, Bianca, don't say nothing to my daughter. Don't say nothing to my son. He could do what he wants to do.
That's supposed to be an extension of me. You know, when my kids see my sister, they should see me standing there.
Exactly.
Because that's how I'm coming. And her kids know that, and my kids know that. Even my kids know that when they see Misha.
And that,
speak,
but that's how it's supposed to be, though. But that's how it's supposed to be. So now you got kids that'll tell you, like I said, I deal with kids every day. When you have a child that tell you, like, I'm about to call your mama. So what? Call her. She ain't gonna do nothing. The kid is basically saying, I don't respect her. I don't care. Call her. And then when you get on the phone with a parent and the parent say, well, Wendell, what did you do to my child? So you mean to tell me I had to do something to the 10-year-old for the 10-year-old to call me all kind of faggots and bitches and all this? And I had to do something to the 10-year-old? So when a parent when they ask me questions like that, I'm already knowing where we finna go. So ain't no use to going no far.
Right.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
Because I see you allow that.
Yeah.
That's acceptable.
Yeah. Like we this summer, and I'm gonna say this, and I can't wait till wintertime so my block can be shut down. Okay. Shut it down. Okay. But I promise you, but Zion be having a ball. But one of the kids ended up getting into it, you know, and it was just this whole thing. And literally this little boy is walking down the street calling me bitches, fuck me, just all of this stuff. And then when it comes down to his mama, she was about to flip me because her kid was calling me bitches. And I'm like, what? But it's okay for him to say, fuck you, bitch. That's never okay. Like, I don't care if my child is being redirected by an adult. The first thing you should not say is, you know what I'm saying, is respect out of your mouth. Especially not like that. You know? And the people on the block, before I even went to her house, they said, watch out, because she be cussing too.
So you know where he got it from.
Facts.
And the learned behavior is learned behavior.
Yep.
But then,
I mean, he cussed me from the root to the
But guess what? She'll be the main one
on the news,
nodding and hollering and screaming and crying when he land in the casket.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And a lot of these people don't understand, man, because a lot of people want to eliminate God out the equation. They want to eliminate Jesus out the equation and things like that. But a lot of this stuff is going on right now because we have eliminated God out the equation.
Yeah, and our kids don't know that there's something else. There's something they don't get the bigger picture. Like you're not just living here just to be living here and just fucking taking up space. And like you do have a purpose and there is something that you need to live for and goals and you know what I'm saying? Like there's a reason that you're here.
Who teaching them?
And so this, but
you know what's the goal? You know what I learned the goal is now. All the little girls want to be CNAs and they want their baby daddy to sell weed. That's they the power couple. That's the power couple. And
no shade to CNAs.
No, right? No shade.
No, we just keeping it 100 though. Like I ask little girls this all the time at school. Like, man, what you want to be when you grow up? And I want to be a CNA. I want to be a CNA because that's what their mama's doing. That's what their auntie doing.
Yeah.
Nobody have dreams to say, you know what? I want to own the nursing home. I want to own this. I want to own it. You think you going to school? You ain't even got to go to school to do that. You could just go do that. So you wasted all this time and don't get me wrong. Listen, people passionate about different things. You got people that got master's degrees and stuff that went back into CNA because they just passionate about elderly people. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying it's a knock to that, but a lot of these kids don't even know what purpose and passion is.
Yeah, because they just doing something just to pacify us or just to get by. And so this, and I think this maybe we need to have another discussion about this. I would love to have a discussion where we actually have children and we actually talk to kids. Because I think that it is something that, you know, parents and adults, parents and children
can benefit from.
It can benefit from, and we definitely need to. There has to be somebody that's eventually going to bridge the gap. I think just like the conversation between men and women and dating and all of that, there has to be some sort of bridging of the gap and to say, you know, okay, I get what you're saying. Now let's come together and find a solution.
Exactly.
So I think it has to start somewhere. I got another couple of people that I'm, you know, thinking of, but I definitely want to bring you back so that we can have this conversation really, you know, even more candid.
Yeah, intimate. Yes. Because one thing I always tell parents, man, if you're not open-minded to receive what it is your child's saying, the child is going to be always reluctant to open up to you.
Yeah. Right.
You still have to let this child have a voice. Don't strip them from their voice.
Right.
So like that'd be a great idea and have because I'm gonna bring my 12-year-old daughter. You know what I'm saying? And you let them feel comfortable with telling them, "Well, mom, I don't like when you do this and all." And you can't get offended and what you mean? No, you gotta take that and say, you know what? I gotta do better.
Right.
Because that's all she's telling you, mom. You could just do better than that. I have to do better.
Yeah,
and nobody on this planet.
Same thing, just a different way.
That's exactly. Man, ain't nobody. It's not a person on this planet.
Watch your tone when you tell me that I could do better.
That's all.
That's all I'm gonna say. Just watch your tone.
Okay. And don't put girl in it.
Right.
Like one thing, like like the Cosby Show. That's one of my favorite shows, right? So Renisha, she never watched the Cosby Show growing up. So now they come on like Monday through Friday. They come on every day, like 5 or 6 o'clock. So we be watching it. And she's like, she said, all my life I had this perception of the Cosby Show as this. But she never really understood that they went through so many issues with their children.
Yeah.
They went through, I'm talking about so much stuff, lying, stealing, running away. Yeah, they had money, but money couldn't fix the situation that they was going through. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And like I tell her, I said, a lot of people look at the Cosby Show and they just look at the glitz and glamour. It's a message in everything that they was giving us. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So yeah, do you want the Cosby Show household? I want the money, and one day I'm gonna have the money and all this. But at the end of the day, I'm still gonna have issues.
You still gonna have them issues.
I'm still gonna have issues with these kids. And if I'm not man enough to deal with these issues, and I'm making my kids feel like they're not loved, guess who's gonna teach them? Guess who's gonna teach them how to solve the issues?
The streets.
And then now when they behind bars, they dead in jail and all this and all that. A parent shouldn't have the right to come say, you crying and you hollering and
Mhm.
screaming at this funeral. What you doing that for? And we done tried to warn you a
Right.
1,000 times on
It's
not to
still
do
gonna
this and not to
happen.
do that, and you still let it
Mhm.
go happen.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like, man, it's a great conversation piece
Mhm.
that can be touchy,
Mhm.
but the only way it be touchy to people for people that they don't want to grow as a person.
Right.
See,
Right.
everybody don't want to grow, and you got to be okay with
Right.
True.
So we're gonna have a part 2 to this.
Agreed.
And we'll bring in some more people. We'll see if we can bring in have some kids. I think it'll be very, very great. Thank you so much for
Yes.
coming
All
out
the
today.
Very
Thanks
good.
for having me.
Where can we get your book
I was
at?
just gonna say do the book one more time.
Amazon. You can go on Amazon to get it, volume 1 and volume 2.
I got both of them. It's really a good book. Both of them. So,
Appreciate it. So yeah, man.
And
right
what's
now,
the name again?
The Devil
book?
Thought He Had Me. So man, right
like
now
that
I'm in the
title.
talks of we trying to make it into a series.
period.
HBO. That's what we aiming for. I'm finishing up. I got like 5-6 more chapters left for volume 3 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
So man, yeah, we out here. We grinding.
I love it. I love it. You know, congratulations. You know, I'm with it. I love it. But thank y'all so much for joining us. We are out. And let's see what we got coming up real quick. Tonight, Sherman Phoenix,
Fuck them kids,
6.
kickback.
Yeah, fuck them kids. Kickback. Y'all come out, have a good time.
Y'all
eat.
promote.
It's gonna
Fuck
be
the
food,
kids,
right?
we just got 2 minutes talking about it. Y'all tell.
I mean,
Y'all
I'm
tell.
just saying. But peace out. We out. As parents, we can do that. We real parents.
For real. Our baby takes
But y'all have a good day. Thank you for joining. Bye bye.